Hi, everyone. This is our first Compressed Air Challenge interview of the superstars of compressed air. I'm Ron Marshall, and I'm the training coordinator of Compressed Air Challenge. We're recording a series of interviews here to give people a glimpse about the steps they should take to become successful in compressed air industry. And I have with me today Frank Moskowitz, who's one of our top trainers. Frank, could you tell everyone about yourself? What do you do?
Well, presently I work for Atlas Copco. I've been working for them for 30 years. Half that time actually with Draw Professional Services. They had purchased the company or acquired the company 15 or so years ago. And mainly it's the auditing, air scan, energy management. I do all of their energy studies, vacuum, compressed air, things like that. And I'm training other people within Atlas Copco to actually do the same thing that I do. Not everybody lives forever. So with all my knowledge, I'm trying to keep that moving, take them under my wing and get them up to speed.
Great, great. How did you get started in the compressed air business?
That's a good question. That goes back a long, long time ago. I can start when I was age 16, when I was a tool and die maker in
Yeah,
Brooklyn, New York. But anyway, that's when I did start when I was 16. I've been in industry literally ever since. My main thrust is mechanical engineering, and I had a degree in secondary ed. So basically, when I was working in Brooklyn, I was a maintenance manager, probably, 7, 8 years. Got married, moved out to Phoenix, another maintenance manager job, another 7, 8 years. So 15, 16 years of working in factory as a maintenance manager. And then a local distributor who took care of my air compressors kept hounding me to work for him. That was back, it was Camelback Equipment Company back in Phoenix.
yeah,
And I eventually, after a couple of years, did that and switched over and selling compressors, working on them, turning wrenches, super easy because my background was, refrigeration and pumps and steam and process heat,
yeah.
everything from being a maintenance manager. So that was my background.
Okay, very good. Now you're a pretty good expert in doing audits and things like that. There's not a lot of knowledge around about compressed air auditing. Where did you get your knowledge?
Well, compressed air auditing, I mean, it's just common sense. If you think about it, a system has to work, system has to be energy efficient, has to be optimized. And because I was in maintenance management, I knew every system, compressors, pumps, like I mentioned, but mainly compressors. That was the area that I found to be most in need of my help all throughout everybody that I've ever visited ever since then, since back when I left being a maintenance manager. Every company that I've ever visited, the compressed air system stands out as the worst built system in the entire factory.
Yeah, very good. So you identified compressed air as a potential opportunity first thing, right?
Right. Pumps and steam was okay, was nice. Process heating, it just wasn't as glorious, but compressed air was a no-brainer for me
Yeah.
because everything I looked at, everything I touched was fixable,
All right.
repairable, upgradable.
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to advance in the industry, what advice would you have for them? Where would they get
My
their knowledge?
advice would be, since it's not really taught, if you're lucky enough, if you're a college age and you can be in an industrial assessment center, the IACs, that's great because they teach young engineers, how to do forget what they call it, like treasure hunts, so to speak. But compressed air is just a part of it. My recommendation would be you team up with someone who does this kind of work. Just like back in my days in Brooklyn, where when I wanted to learn refrigeration or electrical, I hooked up with a tradesman. I learned all my trades by apprenticeship. And I still believe in that to this day, that it's not taught. You must go with somebody, and maybe after 2 or 3 visits, you'll go, I think I know what I'm doing now. It may take longer. I still learn. I'm doing this 45 years. Every plant I go in, I still learn more about what could go wrong. So you never stop learning, but I believe you need to be with somebody at least a few times.
Very good. Yes. Yeah, I agree with you. I remember last week I just learned not to touch something hot.
Huh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've shut down many compressors in my time accidentally as well. So
Yes, very good. Okay, so you've taught hundreds and hundreds of Compressed Air Challenge webinars and in-person trainings. If you had to take the best three principles of the material, what would they be and why?
three principles. Well, the first principle is you've got to draw your system. So that's actually one of our first steps, and we
Yep.
call our 7-step or 8-step action plan. Block diagram. You must be able to visualize the system that you're about to hopefully optimize. So block diagram, you must understand it. Number two, the takeoff number two is where are you going to save the energy for the customer? So you have the supply side where you look at the compressor controls. We teach a lot about that. Is their discharge pressure too high? Are they even controlled at all? And the second part is in the demand. All that wasted air, you have to find it. How does compressed air support their production? So that's a big chunk. That's number two. Between those two items, of course, supply and demand, you come up with an optimized system. Number three, the big takeaway number three is if you're going to make a recommendation to a customer, it has to be realistic to that customer. I read a lot of reports, and a lot of these young engineers are making recommendations, and I shake my head like, no one's going to implement that. Not only is the return on investment too low, it's never been discussed with management, and it's just not feasible. A simple blow gun that might cost the customer $10 a year. I get recommendations. Oh, let's put a blower in there. That'll be 5 more kilowatts of power, and so it's not realistic. And those are the three takeaways that we do try to teach in Compressed Air Challenge.
Okay, very good, Frank. Very good answers. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
And we're going to do a few more of these interviews, and we will find some more superstars to talk to. And if you're listening and you've listened this far, please check out our calendar of trainings at the Compressed Air Challenge website. The links will be in the text associated with this video. And thanks very much.
Thanks.
Take care.